For somebody who just wants Johnny Depp to leave her alone and for social media to stop being mean to her, why on God's green earth does she continue to do this to herself? Amber Heard has the big interview tonight. Yes, it's going live on Dateline. It'll be all the rage for a little while, and I'll figure some stuff out, and we'll see how we're going to cover it tomorrow. But I thought that might be able to take a day off on this one, okay? I wanted to talk about some other things, but just when I thought I was out, she pulls me back in. Now I know how Johnny felt for at least a few years, minus, all of the bruising and damages and the severed finger, but the millions of dollars just pouring down the drain, literally. Johnny spent more on her spilt liquor than I've made on YouTube. Funny. Anyways, but Savannah Guthrie, did you know? Okay, this is another post that's out there because that interview, at least the snippets that are out there right now, aren't exactly working out as well as Amber Heard's ragtag group of public relations idiots. Fuck, okay, she had to resuscitate her flagging public opinion. Theoretically, I guess that's what they're going for, okay? Honestly, it should have been a moment of inflection after she lost. She probably should have just went away. Elaine could go out there and fucking ramble on like a crazy cat lady, and nobody would have batted an eye at that twice, okay? She would have done her couple of interviews. Everybody would have laughed at her, but then she just pulls back and maybe waits for an opportune moment to spring back into action. But knowing her mental status and knowing the two, even though, they're not necessarily irrefuted diagnosis, but, you can kind of connect the dots when it comes to histrionic and borderline personality disorder and the way that Amber Heard is certainly comporting herself after the fact. She couldn't possibly keep quiet on all of this stuff for very long. So yeah, she had to go on to the interview. And she thought she was picking, okay, at least her team, who she's probably just dragging along. She's driving all this shit, okay? It's been fairly fucking obvious every step along the way. But no, she thought that she'd have a sympathetic voice across from her with Savannah Guthrie, who I've been critical of and then also praised as well. And even when you're anticipating a softball, when you're the kid up there with the ball on the tee and you got the wiffle ball bat, and you swing so hard and you make contact with the tee and the ball just goes straight up in the air and then falls straight back down on home plate. That's exactly what it's been so far. So don't worry, to the rescue, her other biggest contingent of supporters, mass media. So, like it says here, Savannah Guthrie shouldn't have interviewed Amber Heard, according to the the experts are saying there's a conflict of interest there. All right, cool. I'm interested to see what your take is on this. NBC star, I guess, Savannah Guthrie, should have declined to interview Amber Heard after revealing that her husband did consulting work for Johnny Depp's lawyers. Yes, she said that right in front of the interview that she had with, Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu. But it was not in, what? No, it has no... Oh my god, they're fucking reaching on this one. Anyways, on June 8th, Guthrie sat down with two of Depp's lawyers. Yes, the two lead lawyers that were on there, Camille Vasquez and Ben Chu, just days after their client won a defamation. It was about a week after. Days after was when Elaine went on her speaking tour, but okay. That he brought against his ex-wife, Amber Heard. Don't talk about the counterclaim, which Amber Heard won one count on, of course. Why didn't you guys bring that up as well? But no. Amber Heard's the victim in this one. Got to play to that narrative. Okay. Before the interview, Guthrie informed viewers that my husband has done consulting work for the Depp legal team, but not in connection with this interview. Yeah, no, exactly. I'm sure they're gonna tell us who her husband is. I don't think it really plays into this at all whatsoever, okay? Guthrie's husband is Michael Feldman, a public relations consultant. Should have passed along the business card because obviously he's pretty good at this. Hey, Johnny, just go celebrate your victory. Don't even bother talking about it. We got this, fam. Should just, let Amber Heard, fucking in on what your husband's company is doing, okay? And former political advisor who once worked for former President Al Gore. Yeah, so again, by this logic, okay, her husband's a former Democratic operative, so she shouldn't have conducted that town hall interview with Donald Trump during the presidential election cycle. Yeah, oh, okay, cool. Didn't see you guys complaining about that at the time, now did ya? Awfully fucking convenient. Anyways, yeah, with Al Gore during his 2000 presidential campaign, which, funny thing about that, you're doing a controversial interview in 2020 and what happened in 2000. Anyways, he currently works at public relations firm FGS Global. So yeah, he literally works at a public relations firm. Okay, it's probably a big firm with a lot of people, a big beautiful firm, and a lot of people fucking work there. Okay, if you just draw it out far enough, you'd be able to see a whole bunch of people doing what you might conceive as being some sort of an unethical participation from somebody else's spouse. This is ultimate grasping at straws, kind of like the interview, so how appropriate. Guthrie, the co-host of the network's Today Show, sat down with Heard for a 1-hour Dateline special. Oh, it is 1 hour. Okay, that will air at 8 p.m. tonight. Eastern tonight. Guthrie interviewed Heard's attorneys, Elaine Bredehoff as well. Yeah, I'd get to that just a little bit later and stuff. I've got way better screenshots than that, dude. But anyways, NBC has already released snippets, which total to about, I think we're sitting at about 20 minutes of the actual interview. So there's going to be a lot. There's going to be a lot to go over. And I'm unreasonably excited for this because it's just going to be so fucking hilarious. Just think, okay, of the stuff that they put out, okay, those are just the little teases. You know that there's got to be so much more substance there. It's going to be fucking wonderful.
But ethics experts say Guthrie has a clear conflict of interest
in light of the disclosure about Feldman's ties to Depp's lawyers. Yeah, a lot of people work on a fucking massive lawsuit, okay? It's not like this was Johnny Depp's frizzy-haired lawyer working for NBC conducting the interview. There's little to do with anything, but okay, let's see what an expert has to say on this.
Ms. Guthrie was transparent by letting viewers know that her husband worked for Depp's legal team before her interview aired on the Today Show.
Rebecca Aguilar, president of the Society of Professional Journalists. Oh, is that a real thing? Oh my god, I couldn't think of a less worthless degree than being Amber Heard's AA sponsor. Fucking Christ. Still, she should have avoided becoming part of the story. You're making it a part of the story. Nobody thought anything of this. It was a throwaway line that everybody's like, yeah, no, her husband worked in collaboration with the lawsuit. Okay, what's there to do? Okay, just try to obfuscate from the fact that this is a horrific interview. Okay, and you're gonna try to start to slander the interviewer. Wow, funny how this stuff starts to look a little bit more ridiculous when the people at play here are maybe a little bit less politically charged, as it were. We've been through this shit all before with a bunch of different campaigns. But now it's coming out and it's like,
oh, should have recused yourself because there's a clear conflict of interest. You work for Fox News and you guys are biased.
Now you're getting even more tenuous with your aspersions.
Miss Guthrie should be far away from this story to show her viewers that she is fair, transparent, and ethical.
We've seen her question so far. She hasn't really gone in too hard on Amber Heard, which is probably best for her life and her safety, of course, but she's also softballed quite a bit of stuff, okay? She's been, if I'm going to put a number on it, probably like a 4 out of 10 interviewer. It's been fine, okay? She hasn't really followed up on a whole bunch from what we've seen before. But again, all of the snippets that we've seen have been hatcheted and butchered up worse than I've seen most professional interviews. But that just could be the snippet nature of how this is being released so far. The full Dateline interview could be completely different. But the way that you got to handle this stuff is exactly like the way that direct examination would be handled of your client who is accusing the person who is suing her of being a domestic abuse victim, okay? Amber Heard is right. According to her story and her narrative, which she's going to just go down in flames with, is that she was beat mercilessly for the better part of 5 years or something like that from, oh, no, I'm sorry, I got to get the time frame right, or at least what the current one is. I'm sure she'll reimagine it at some point or another. Oh my god, I got sexually abused by Edward Scissorhands was on the television once when old reruns of 21 Jump Street were playing on TBS on Saturdays. Like, fucking Christ. That's when the abuse started in 1994. I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah, from 2012 until 2016. Okay, so you had 4 years of horrific abuse. So you can't be going too hard on her. But then at the same time, you gotta kind of clear some stuff up, which she's done on a few questions. But other than that, she just kind of let her hang herself, which depends on what perspective you're coming at this from. Especially the one exchange where it's like, well, a defamation case deals with lies, and because she won one of her claims, it left the open door of ambiguity there for when Amber said yes, and then I only told the truth when I was on the stand, and everybody else is a liar and I'm a victim, and everybody's against me. Eric Wemple, oh, this guy sounds like a cuck, a media critic for the Washington Post. Oh, if we don't want to, isn't that a conflict of interest? He works for the Washington Post. Okay. Wrote that Guthrie has a very significant conflict of interest in the light of her husband's involvement with Depp's attorney. Again, a media critic for the Washington Post. What exactly was the impetus of this lawsuit? A op-ed published in the Washington Post. Okay. The idea that Guthrie could benefit financially, albeit indirectly, from her husband's ties to Depp, disqualifying her from reporting on the topic, according to Wemple. Wow, that is big think as well. There's a financial stake. Yeah, he runs, I'd imagine, the FCG firm or whatever like that. I'd imagine the F probably stands for Feldman. This guy's probably pretty good at his fucking job, okay? Or at least high profile enough where he could have his own firm. I'd imagine he's not exactly, working in the fucking mailroom if we're being completely upfront and honest about this stuff. So he probably has a whole bunch of underlings that are there, and maybe it was the firm that helped out with the Depp team, okay? I don't know if he was, doing up Johnny's tie every day before he went into court, but yeah, I don't think he had that close of a relationship to him, okay, that would create some sort of conflict of interest. Did they sit around and did Savannah bring muffins when they were doing the interview? Like, fucking just grasping at straws here. And it's, yeah, like I pointed out before, it's awfully rich that you'd get the expert opinion from the Washington Post. Like, fucking give me a break. Let's see if there's anything. Oh, let's just see here. Okay, what is Wemple's justification for this idiotic fucking take? And that is most fair and narrow and unpuncturable conflict of interest. No, it's not. You can just continue to say a whole bunch of flowery fucking language in front of it. It's still not a significant conflict of interest. It's more of a coincidence than a conflict, okay? If it affects your family finances in some way. It's these people, it's all about power and it's all about money. I hate sticking up for Savannah Guthrie because I think that she's kind of a shit human being, okay, and a really terrible interviewer. But at the same time, this is undue criticism, okay? And she also looks like a crypt keeper. But if it was just that story that leaked today, or I guess it didn't leak, they got the expert opinions of a bunch of fucking speds, but no, Amber Heard, okay, just can't let a sleeping dog lie. She had this mountain of evidence on a whole bunch of stuff that just wasn't let into the U.S. courtroom that definitely would have changed the outcome of the lawsuit if she was allowed to present it, and this was stuff that was used in UK. All right, cool. Could this end up burying the UK case? Because I knew that this existed. Haven't gone through the evidence yet, and we'll, do a little gloss over the top of it. But yeah, man, I couldn't imagine this is really going to pan out well. But it's funny, right? Because I said that we're probably going to get, okay, in the interview proper, we're probably going to get some new allegations, okay? Something like that. She's going to try to widen the scope of all the violence that happened, okay, during their relationship. And she'd continue to skirt anything that she could have possibly done, which so far, so good. And then, yeah, for her, a day after the fact that juror came out and was like, no, we just didn't believe her. And that's the only thing that we really went on when we came to deciding the verdict. So all of these other aspersions that social media played into this, yeah, like 3 of the other jurors that were there, we didn't have Twitter accounts. So who even gave a shit about what anybody else outside of the courtroom had to say it? Hell, the people who turned up to the courtroom, all of them we didn't give a fuck about, except for Amber and Johnny. And Johnny seemed to be telling the truth, and Amber creeped us all out because she wouldn't stop looking at us. If she would have just stopped looking at us, we wouldn't have charged her so much. But here is some of that evidence that corroborates Amber Heard's story and makes Johnny Depp a monster. Let's see. Amber Heard carries on fighting an explosive Dateline interview. Actress insists binder full of notes from her therapist prove that Johnny Depp hit her and threatened to kill her, despite judge in the trial dismissing them as hearsay. Yeah, because they are. It's self-reporting to a doctor in order to, well, not even a doctor, 'cause it's kind of her friend too, because her therapist came to her wedding, and it's kind of like her publicist, right? It's like, fuck's sakes, this is classic hearsay, okay? This is proof of the truth of the matter documents, literally, okay? What stupid Elaine was trying to use to get around hearsay objections, this is exactly what this is. This is out-of-court statements made by the party at question here in order to bolster their own claims. It's like if I had a journal from way back in the cut that said, I was on vacation in, I don't know, Guadalajara at a resort during the time that, somebody alleges I ran over a dog or some shit like that, okay? Well, I have it written down in a journal that I wrote, and therefore that's my alibi, okay? It doesn't really work that way. Those are clear hearsay documents. And then again, like has been mentioned before, and the tapes are, freely available online on YouTube. Incredibly Average has them. That Brian fella, he has them out there. And again, okay, where there's audio recordings, okay, the words coming directly from Amber Heard's mouth. Unfortunately, Jerry Judge, who is of course passed on, he's also on those tapes. So because he was there and he was the sounding board for Amber admitting to all the violence in Australia, those couldn't be allowed in because he couldn't be asked about his participation in those tapes. Ergo, hearsay can't be brought into court. Same reason applies here for these notes. I don't even know what they are. They could be totally benign, but I got all of this evidence dating way back until who the fuck knows. But whatever. Amber Heard has released a binder full of women. Oh no, sorry, a different piece of shit. Of notes from her therapist, which she claims as fresh evidence proving her allegations. Again, after the trial, now there's new evidence that comes out. How appropriate. Of physical and sexual abuse against her. Pieces of paper that prove sexual abuse? Question. Very, very important question here. But anyways, against her ex-husband, Johnny Depp, despite the notes already being dismissed by the judge in her defamation case. Heard 36 turned over years worth of notes taken by her therapist detailing instances that she says the actor hit her, threw her against the wall, threatened to kill her. Was there anything about throwing her down the stairs or raping her with a whiskey bottle? Anything like that? No. Okay, those were just made up on the fly. See where that fits into the timeline. I've never testified. Shut up. However, the judge in the trial against Depp, 59, had already dismissed the notes as hearsay and barred her legal team from submitting the documents as evidence. Nevertheless, the actress has now gone public with the binder, which dates back to 2011 from the very beginning of her relationship. Oh, I thought the violence started in 2012. There we go. We're just widening the scope of the violence. Oh my god, it started in 2011. Did he throw the jar of cocaine at you first? Was that the first incident? Oh my, you never forget your first incident. But then you can't quite remember the date because it was so traumatic. But you did remember the dirty carpet. Ugh. God, she was speaking about what's between her legs. Nevertheless, the actress has gone public with the binder. Yeah, it dates back to 2011, the very beginning of their relationship ahead of the explosive sit-down interview with Savannah Guthrie due to air Friday night. The interview follows a 3-part sneak peek that was broadcast on NBC. There's a binder worth of notes dating back to 2011 from the very beginning of my relationship that were taken by my doctor, who I was reporting the abuse to, but no other actual doctor, and it's a therapist. It's barely a fucking doctor, okay? It's like Jill Biden. According to Guthrie and Dateline, we haven't seen any of this stuff, and it was posted by Peacock. I don't know, what is it, fucking, just a supercut of what we've seen before. I don't want to spoil anything, so, hey, we'll just wait until tomorrow. But yeah, did the therapist note any, subsequent damage of these different events that were there, or was it just here? I'm going to tell you some things that I made up in my head. You write them down so this all sounds copacetic. Sounds good? Great, wonderful, fantastic. Anyways, yeah, dating back to January of 2012. How appropriate, right at the beginning of 2012. That's when the switch just flipped, and then all of a sudden he just started beating me about the head. When Heard told the therapist Depp hit her, threw her on the floor. No, I thought she fell off because she was sitting on the edge of the couch, right? Sitting next to him, and she asked him about the Wino Forever tattoo, and then he just hit me, and I said, Johnny, you hit me! And then he started crying and all that stuff, I think. Hey, Muns, after he ripped her nightgown, threw her on the bed. That sounds hot. And then in 2013, he threw her against the wall and threatened to kill her, the notes allege. Oh no, that's terrible. The latest preview clip from Dateline interview comes one day after the Today Show aired its third installment of the wide-ranging sit-down in which Amber confessed that she absolutely still loves Johnny, despite once again speaking out of to accuse him of physical abuse during their relationship. Earlier this month, she took a fat fucking L. And we got some stills that are here. He hit her, threw her on the floor. Look at all of these redacted images. It's so scary. I mean, look at that. If that's not a mountain of evidence, I don't know what is. But again, if that's all you got, that's like classic hearsay. He said he hit her and threw her on the floor. That's nice. Can you corroborate any of that stuff? No, but your therapist wrote it down on some paper with a really fucking suspect handwriting. That's great. And again, no medical records, no police reports, nothing like that. Do you got any pictures this time around? No, it's just words on paper. Great, cool. I'd feel really terrible if there was like actual evidence and you know what, hey, maybe she was telling the truth. Oh god, that's even tough to say even in jest. But if she was telling the truth the entire time, this might be a little bit more difficult. It'd be a little harder to stomach, of course, like a wine bottle in your cunt. But even now, it's like, here's my evidence. That's nice. What the fuck does it actually prove? Oh yeah, until we can get to that full goddamn interview, we shall all be waiting with bated breath. Until that time, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. There you go. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.